Good afternoon. I'm State Representative Heather Fitzenhagen, and I'm here with members of the PTSD Awareness Summit. And we are here today to talk about a very real problem in Florida and a tangible solution. Specifically, House Bill 1051, the camo alert for missing persons. And I'd like to take a few minutes to give you some background on exactly what the genesis was for this bill and why this problem needs to be addressed. Many of you are aware military personnel are at a great risk of suffering from a mental health condition, and they're at a greater risk than the general population. Post-traumatic stress disorder is a psychiatric condition that can occur when a person witnesses or experiences a traumatic event. When that happens to a veteran, law enforcement intervention may be necessary. So they're suffering from mental illness and they disappear and pose a credible threat to themselves or to others' safety. I think we need to intervene. In Florida, you may be aware we have the Silver Alert and Amber Alert, and that's where we broadcast information to the public about a missing elderly person who suffers from deterioration of intellectual faculties. Law enforcement, when they receive this, can issue a local or regional Silver Alert for a missing person if they are over 60 and they have this irreversible deterioration of intellectual faculties. So House Bill 1051 would create the camo alert. This alert would be for an at-risk veteran. The camo registry, in order to be able to have a camo alert, is a voluntary registry. And there's a companion bill that gives a public records exemption for those veterans that choose to voluntarily join the registry, and that's very important to understand. We're not suggesting that any veteran join that doesn't want to, but we want veterans that do want to have this as a safety net for them. The bill also allows for the removal and expungement of an at-risk veteran's registration information from the registry upon written consent from the veteran or his or her legal guardian. The bill defines at-risk veteran as a veteran or active duty military member, regardless of age, who is known to suffer from mental illness, including PTSD or TBI from a traumatic head injury. Plus, they have to have the disappearance fueled by a credible threat to his or her own safety. So this is something that is a very tangible way that we can try to help our veterans. The bill also respects veterans' privacy by not having them opt in, and it also provides punishments for those people who may intentionally file a false camo alert. This bill is purely intended to save lives, and I believe it will do just that. But I don't want you to take it from me. I have people behind me with the PTSD Awareness Summit that have personal experience dealing with this terrible crisis that's happening in our state. And right now I'm going to turn it over to Keith Campbell with PTSD Awareness Summit to discuss his personal experience.
Thank you. A reason for this bill is, as Heather states, is to help the veterans and their families deal with the veteran when they go missing. It also give an extra resource to local law enforcement that they can reach out to veterans organizations like ourselves to put extra resources on the ground when looking for the veteran. It's very important that when a veteran does leave a suicide note and the family will report them missing, that we do our best to find them within the first 4 hours of them going missing. After the 4 hours, the risk of them succumbing to their attempts is very high. In the bill, as it's been rewritten because of the concerns that we had in 2019, it is protecting the veterans' information to where it's very limited information that's going out, like a basic missing persons report. All their other information is kept secured, and not even law enforcement gets all that additional information as well. And again, it's about saving lives, not just the veterans, but also saving the lives of the families so they don't have to deal with the issues that's going to happen after the fact of suicides. Personally, I've dealt with them on a daily basis with the veterans in our communities. In Lee County alone, we had 19 suicides this past summer. And if people wouldn't know that, if they're not researching it, or the media's not covering it, so they don't really know how bad the epidemic in our counties are. And it's not just here in Lee County, it's all throughout the state of Florida. The state of Florida is the third ranked population for veterans in the nation, and we are ranked second for suicides among the veteran populations, and just continuing to grow with the lack of resources. Thank you.
year?
Well, again, I think it's very important that this isn't the total solution. The total solution is to provide better services to our veterans so that they get the mental health wraparound services that they need to be able to begin to rebuild and hopefully address the PTSD and be able to deal with it better. But this is a very tangible solution for those veterans that are in a crisis so that we don't have other veterans losing their lives. I have heard, people say, well, this bill isn't good because it stigmatizes veterans. But I would say it really doesn't stigmatize veterans. We all respect veterans and understand that they are struggling with PTSD or TBI. But what does stigmatize us as a community is when we let veterans die on our watch, and we need to make sure that we put into place something that will stop that from happening. So again, I appreciate you. I'm Heather Fitzenhagen from District 78, and I would very much appreciate you taking a look at House Bill 1051 and getting behind it because it is critically important for our veterans. Thank you very much.